Here's a question that's going to make some people very uncomfortable. Why does having unprotected sex qualify you for more time off than dedicating your life to volunteer work, pursuing advanced degrees, or caring for aging parents? I know. That's a provocative way to put it. But stick with me because I'm about to introduce you to a concept I call me-TO, or me time off, and explain why your current workplace policies are systematically screwing over anyone who doesn't reproduce. Now, before you write me off as some bitter, childless person ranting about another person's happiness, let me be clear, I'm a parent myself. I've benefited from some of these policies, but I've also been on the other side, and I've watched this inequity play out for years in workplace after workplace. And here's what I've realized. We've created a system where having children, which is for most people a choice and a blessing, somehow entitles you to benefits that people without children don't get. And we've all just accepted it as normal. Let me paint a picture for you. I once worked with a guy who had triplets. His company, which was based overseas, had such generous parental leave policies that he didn't have to come back to work for over a year. Meanwhile, my single colleague who spent every weekend volunteering with the Boy Scouts, literally changing kids' lives on his own time and dime, got his standard 2 weeks of vacation. Or how about this? I had a coworker who demanded never to work past 5 p.m. because he might miss his kids' softball games. Fair enough, family's important. But guess who got stuck with the evening events, weekend travel, and late night emergencies? That's right, the childless crew. And the kicker? During the performance reviews, this guy was praised as a family man who balanced work and life while still being productive. Let's talk about numbers for a second, because this isn't just about feelings, it's about math. In most companies, everyone starts with the same baseline PTO. But as soon as someone has a kid, they get maternity, paternity leave, often 6 to 12 weeks, sometimes more. Sick days for when kids get sick, and trust me, kids get sick a lot. Time off for parent-teacher conferences, school events, doctor visits, emergency leave when childcare falls through, plus the flexible work schedule so that they can work from home or on the road, and the unwritten understanding that family obligations always take priority. Meanwhile, if you're single, married without kids, or can't have children, you get your standard vacation days and the privilege of covering for everyone else. Now, here's where this gets really interesting. Having children is, for the vast majority of people, a choice, and it's not a cheap choice. People spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on fertility treatments, adoption processes, and raising kids. Some of my friends have literally mortgaged their financial future to have children. So we're talking about a conscious decision that many people make because they want to, because it brings them joy, because it fulfills them, which is absolutely fantastic and beautiful. But since when do we give people extra workplace benefits for pursuing their personal dreams? And that's really what this is about, equity. I have a friend who's never married but has an incredibly rich life. He's dedicated to hobbies that have taken him decades to master. He travels, he volunteers, he pursues causes he cares about. His pets, his friendships, his personal projects. These are things that are just as important to him as someone else's children are to them. But because he doesn't have offspring, his passions are somehow seen as less legitimate. His need for time to pursue what matters to him, is it really less valid? That's insane. I mentioned my friend with the Boy Scouts earlier, and this story really drives the point home. This guy was unbelievably dedicated, more dedicated than most parents I know. He spent every weekend with these kids, funded activities out of his own pocket, literally shaping young lives. The local council was so impressed they created a volunteerism award in his name. But in the corporate world, he was just another childless employee expected to pick up the slack when parents needed time off. His contributions to society weren't rewarded with extra PTO. His life-changing work with children didn't qualify him for the same accommodations that biological parents received automatically. And let's talk about something really painful. Couples who want children but can't have them. I have friends who have been trying to adopt for years, spending thousands of dollars and countless hours navigating bureaucracy, only to be disappointed over and over again. They don't get extra time off for this incredibly stressful, time-consuming process. So, people who have successfully had children get months of paid leave, but people struggling to become parents through adoption get nothing. People who choose not to have children get nothing. People who physically can't have children get nothing. Where's the logic in that? Let me tell you what this looks like in practice. You're in a meeting and someone brings up weekend work or travel. The manager's eyes automatically scan the room, mentally cataloging who has kids and who doesn't. Guess who gets volunteered? You want to take a Friday off to extend a long weekend? You better have a good reason. But someone who needs to leave early for the kids' soccer practice? No questions asked. This is the unspoken hierarchy where family obligations trump everything else, even when those obligations are actually choices about how to spend personal time. And here's something that really gets under my skin: the way we talk about parents in the workplace. She's amazing, she manages to excel at work and raise 3 kids, as if being a parent automatically makes someone more impressive than someone who excels at work and also, runs marathons, speaks 4 languages, mentors unprivileged youths, or cares for elderly relatives. We've created this mythology that parenthood is the ultimate multitasking challenge, when in reality, everyone is juggling multiple commitments and responsibilities. But the real kicker is the expectation that childless workers will just naturally pick up the slack. I've literally been in meetings where managers say things like, well, Sarah can handle the late shifts and she doesn't have kids to go home to. Excuse me? So when did not having children mean I don't have a life? Since when did it mean that my time is less valuable? And here's the really twisted part. While parents are getting accommodations and understanding for their family commitments, the people covering for them, working longer hours, taking on extra projects, being more flexible, often don't see any additional recognition or compensation. I've watched childless colleagues work themselves to the bone to accommodate parent schedules, only to be passed over for promotions because they weren't seen as having the same life balance as their parental counterparts. Apparently, sacrificing your personal time for work is less impressive than managing work and children. And before someone says, well, this is just how it works everywhere, let me tell you, it's not. Some countries have much more balanced approaches. Some places give everyone additional personal days that can be used for any life circumstance, not just child rearing. The idea that extensive parental benefits are necessary for a functioning society, that's debatable. What's not debatable is that our current system creates clear inequities. So here's what I propose. Me, TO, me, time off. Instead of giving parents additional time off, companies should give everyone additional personal time that can be used for whatever matters most to them. Having a baby? Use your personal days. Training for a marathon? Use your personal days. Caring for a sick parent? Use your personal days. Learning a new skill? You see where I'm going with this. Use your personal days. The point is that everyone gets the same bucket of time to pursue what's important to them, whether that's children, hobbies, volunteer work, education, or just mental health. And here's how this could work practically. Instead of separate maternity, paternity leave, sick days for children, and family emergency time, companies can provide everyone with a larger pool of life circumstance days. Use them for whatever you need. No judgment. No hierarchy of what counts as legitimate. Want to take 6 weeks when you have a baby? Great. Use your life circumstance days. Want to take a month off to care for your aging parent? Use your life circumstance days. Want to take 2 weeks to volunteer abroad? You see where I'm going with this too. Use your life circumstance days. Now, I know what some people are thinking, but childbirth is a medical event. People need time to recover, and you're absolutely right. Medical leave should exist for medical reasons, for anyone who needs it, for any medical circumstance. But a lot of parental leave isn't about medical recovery. It's about bonding with your child, adjusting to new routines, and enjoying this major life event, which is wonderful. But why is it that that type of personal time is more valuable than someone else's major life pursuits? Look, I am not suggesting that we punish parents or take away benefits that help children. What I am suggesting is that we extend the same consideration to everyone else's life choices and circumstances. If we are going to be generous with time off, and I think we should be, let's be generous to everyone, not just people who reproduce. And here's the thing that might surprise you. I think this would actually make companies more productive, not less. When people feel like they're being treated fairly, when they feel like their personal lives and choices are respected, they're more engaged, more loyal, and more willing to go the extra mile when it really matters. Right now, we have a system that breeds resentment. Childless workers feel exploited, and parents feel defensive about their benefits. Nobody wins. As someone who's been on both sides of this equation, I can tell you that the inequity is real and it's damaging. When I didn't have children, I felt like my time and my life choices were seen as less important. Now that I'm a parent, I see how the system advantages me in ways that aren't really fair to my colleagues. What we need is a cultural shift away from the idea that certain life choices are inherently more valuable or deserving of accommodation than others. When someone's passion is raising children, climbing mountains, building businesses, creating art, or serving their community, All of these pursuits deserve respect and support. So here's my challenge. If you're in a position to influence workplace policies, think about how you can create systems that are fair to everyone, not just parents. If you're a worker dealing with this inequity, start the conversation. It's okay to point out unfairness even when it involves sensitive topics like family and children. And if you're a parent benefiting from these policies, consider advocating for your childless colleagues too. True equity helps everyone. The goal isn't to make parenthood harder or less supportive. The goal is to recognize that everyone has important things in their lives that deserve time and attention. Everyone has circumstances that matter. Everyone has dreams worth pursuing. MeToo isn't about taking away anything from parents. It's about giving everyone the same opportunity to live their lives fully, whatever that looks like for them. Because at the end of the day, your personal time is just that, personal. And whether you choose to spend it raising children or changing the world or just enjoying the life you've built, that choice deserves equal respect. So thanks for listening. And remember, fairness isn't about giving everyone the same thing. It's about giving everyone the same opportunity to pursue what matters most to them. I'll see you later.